Hey everyone, my name is Tiffany, and this is my very first video. I don't actually really know how to start it. Little background on why I'm making said video is I wanted to keep a record of all the books that I've been reading because I think it's good for me to remember and help me along the process of writing a novel one day. I don't know. I've always kept track, but through my undergrad program, I'm currently in a master's program, I haven't had time to read, so I never really thought about, keeping track of what I read and what ideas were cool and what authors I actually liked and what genres I really, really was into. And since starting my master's program, I've realized I do have slightly a little bit more time on my hands, as surprising as it seems, to do more recreational reading on top of, the research and everything else I have to do. But that's besides the point. So I originally started writing a blog, and I paid a lot of money for this blog, and I regret it. I do not have time to write a blog. I have to prepare, I have to outline. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to writing. So I'm like, what's a quicker, more easier, possibly more efficient way of telling myself, my future self, about the books that I've read? I was like, I'll make a video and post it to YouTube. No one will ever actually see it, so it doesn't really matter. This is more like for my reference than anything, but if someone comes across it and is like, hey, next time you should discuss this, or this, or this, or this, I'm all for comments, but very unlikely. So, I did use the blog a little bit. I have a few books up there, but as of September 26, 2017, I will be making video blogs on the books that I've read. And so, my very first book for the video blog, not the first book of the year, but the very first book I'm going to talk about is The Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhonda Belleza. It is very sci-fi. It is very fantasy-oriented. It is definitely for people who have read Pierce Brown's The Red Rising trilogy, which I absolutely adore. I have so many stories of what those books did to me. It's just, ugh. But anyways, Empress of a Thousand Skies. It is a lovely sci-fi novel that is 314 pages long. It took me approximately 1 week to read, which in grad school time is not bad at all. It's definitely about space, planets, war in space. I recently, courtesy of Pierce Brown, have discovered that I like the space trilogy stuff, and any super sci-fi. Originally was Harry Potter. I'm a die-hard fantasy Harry Potter person. Always have been. And so I was like, I need to span out a little bit. And I spanned out to sci-fi, apparently, so it wasn't that far. But I also discovered that I like historical fiction, but that's for another day. So I rate this book approximately a 7. It is her debut novel. I am excited to read the next one in the series. I got very attached to Ollie, and I got very attached to Rhiannon, but there's some twists and turns that I didn't expect. For example, spoiler alert, by the way, in the beginning of the book, Rhiannon was marked dead, and they blamed her death on Ollie, and I couldn't figure out how Rhonda was going to associate the two because they've never actually met in real life. So it was really cool. It took a twist that I didn't think was possible, but she worked it very well. I definitely recommend this for any of those fantasy sci-fi lovers out there. I do plan on, when she finishes the series, buying all of them and putting them in my personal collection, library thing, whatever. See, what I usually do is, public library is a great tool. I absolutely love it. I spend more time in the library than I do anywhere else for recreational purposes, where I should be spending it in the gym, but we're not going to talk about that. And so what I do is I rent these books, I read them, I review them, and then I'll come back to the reviews and determine what I'm willing to spend money on. And if the trilogy or the series, I'm not actually sure what it is going to be yet. If it is as good as the first novel, I will probably buy this. And then I will probably recommend it to all my friends. So, here's my first video blog of what I read. I'm sure it could be better, but as I keep doing these, I'll find ways of improvement. And so on to the next one, which will probably be quite soon. And I think I'm going to do a double header. Two J Asher novels. You've probably heard of 13 Reasons Why, and then his other novel, which is called What Light. So, I will talk to you soon, and keep reading, folks.